Hello guys, welcome to this session, and in this session we are going to continue on strings. If you watch the input and output sessions, you probably know what strings are. And in this session, we're just going to dive deep and explain what they really are and how to use them properly. As you saw from our last input session, you saw how to ask or prompt the user to enter their details and store their details inside a certain variable that you declared in your program. For example, what you see on the screen is a program that will ask the user to enter their name and display a welcoming message. For example, if we run this, it's going to ask for my name. I'm just going to enter Brian. It's going to say, "Hi Brian, nice to meet you." What if you want to enter a full name? What if your input has more than one word? So which means it's going to have spaces which will separate each word. This is the part where you will need the getLine function. And remember, in our output session, we discussed a little bit about getLine functions. They take a maximum of 3 parameters. The first parameter is the cinf parameter, and the second parameter is the variable. As you can see, make sure that your variables are matching, or else it's going to give you an error. And we are just going to run this and see what's going to happen. As you can see, it's asking me for my full name, so you can, because we use the getLine function, you can now use space to separate your words. So this is just how you use getLine functions. So what if you want to write a program that will ask for a user's age and then ask for their full name? Your program is going to look something like this. As you know, first we need to declare variables. And remember, these are the variables where the input values will be stored. And then we need to ask the user for their details. In our case, first we're going to ask them for their age, and then we're going to store their age inside the variable age. And then we're going to ask them for their full name, and then we're going to store that inside the string variable called full name, as you can see. And remember, we use the cin function if we want the user to input their values. After that, we want to display a message that will show their name and their age, because sometimes they have to see that they have entered the correct details. So just gonna put end line there and then display the appropriate message that will display their age. So you are age years old. Close double quotation mark, end line, close semicolon. So this is it. We're just going to run this. As you can see, it asks me for my age. So I'm just gonna, before we enter our full name, I want you to notice how I used the cin function to input my name. I didn't use the getLine function. So this is just for demonstrations purpose. Let's say I'm just gonna enter my age, which is 16, and then I'm gonna enter my full name, which is Brian Jackson. As you see, it's going to throw away Jackson and take only Brian. That's because the cin function cannot handle space bar, or cannot handle multiple ways that are separated by space. Whatever word you enter, it will take the first word. The minute it comes to space, it throws away everything else. And as you can see, we need the getLine function to solve this issue. So the cin function is not a bad approach, but it's not an optimal solution to our problem. So that's why we need the getLine function. We have used the getLine function, but we still got an error. So this is because the getLine function is under the cin function. This is bad programming. It's a bad programming approach. You cannot put the getLine function under a cin function. Think of the getLine function as the boss. It mustn't be under any cin function. It must be above the cin function. So I'm just going to put it above and run this. Right now, instead of first asking me for my age, it's going to first ask me for my full name. I'm just going to enter my full name. And then as you can see, it's working fine. It's going to ask me for my age. It stored my name and my age perfectly. But what if you want your program to be like this? What if you want the cin to be above the getLine function? Maybe you are a little stubborn. Well, here's a function that you can use. It's called cin.get function. This function, it allows you to put the cin function above the getLine function. So it's kind of a sweet solution that you can take. So basically what it does, it takes away one keystroke. For example, the last keystroke, which is enter. The minute you press enter, the cin function takes away that input or that keystroke that you pressed, and then C++ has no idea that you have pressed enter, so it just thinks 16 and your name are just the same word. So that's what the cin function is. But you don't have to know what it does. Just know that you can use it whenever you want to put the getLine function under the cin function. Thanks for joining me, guys. See you in the next sessions.